Some players are so bad, you'd have to pay for someone to take them. It's like a car that looks nice, but smells like BO inside.
But the whole car smells.
So to get rid of it, you park the car in a sketchy neighborhood. Keys inside, buddy. But even the carjacker can't take it. You'd have to pay him to steal that car. So with NBA players, our top 5 worst are kind of like that car. Some look nice on the outside, but the BO is their salary. For example, last year, Miami had Victor Oladipo making almost $10 million. So the Heat had to give OKC 2 second-round picks to take him. Miami got nothing back. So this year, whose salary makes them extra stinky? Number 5 is John Collins on the Jazz. It's hard to put Collins on here. He had a good game the other day, but look at that money. We used to think Trae Young was his problem. John was a key piece to an Eastern Conference Finals team, but then he hurt his finger on a dunk attempt in 2022 and was never the same. Look at this thing. The Hawks asked him to play through it, which he did, but his shooting fell off. He went from very good from 3 in 2020 and 2021, then dipped to average in 2022 and god awful in 2023. So with Clint Capella on the team, they didn't need another big man who can't shoot. Plus, John Collins' bad playmaking and defense, he got fewer minutes. So with his trade value at its lowest, the Hawks got nothing. Rudy Gay and a second-round pick, that's it. But Collins promised on a new team he'd be back. His old team held him back. On IG, thank you for allowing me a place to grow. But as I see it, it is this Hawks' time to fly away from the nest as my growth here has been stunted. Oh, really? Then he took a shot at the teammates. I'd say the one thing that surprised me here on the Jazz is the lack of ego here. It's refreshing to have a group of guys that truly emphasize playing team basketball. Wow, if you talk that way, you have got to back it up. But instead, the Jazz put him back on the trade block 2 months after getting him. Why? Because his shot is back, but he hasn't picked up the Jazz's system, especially on defense. No one will trade for John Collins because he makes about $26 million 2 more years. Were the Hawks really the problem? But first, today's video is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. I want to give you my 2 picks. Now, I haven't been doing well on the community post, although we did have a W last week. I am feeling really good about these 2 picks, and they will be made in a game called Pick'em, where you pick higher or lower on your favorite teams or your favorite game that night. You could up to 20x your money. So the 2 picks, first up is Jason Tatum. We're gonna go higher on his assists. I think he's gonna see a lot of double teams. He'll pass out and the Celtics have tons of guys to score. Then we've got Taurean Prince. We're gonna go higher on his points. If the Lakers are gonna beat OKC, he's gotta shoot a bunch of threes. And best of luck if you are trailing those picks. Check out this map to see if Underdog is available in your area. Please use the promo code AMHOOPS. It will double your deposit up to $100 plus. It really helps out the channel. Promo code AMHOOPS. Thanks again to Underdog. Number 4, Andrew Wiggins. He is owed about $29 million each of the next 3 seasons. It's gotten so bad, Brian Windhorst says Andrew Wiggins has next to 0 trade value on the market. It's so crazy because he was blown by a great defender to crush the Celtics' hopes in the finals 18 months ago. Now, he's forgotten how to dribble. What happened? It started with a family crisis that caused Wiggs to miss the final 22 games last year. Since then, he is not the same. Wiggs has by far the worst plus minus on the Dubs. I think mental stress from his family issue might as well be an injury. A medical source says one of the symptoms of mental stress is muscle tension. While stressed, an athlete may feel stiff and have difficulty moving as they normally do. That's a factor no one's talking about. Now, Wiggs is just 28 years old, which would give us hope if it wasn't for his horrible history. The Wolves gave up on him because it didn't look like Wiggs took the game seriously. Maybe this personal issue has affected his game and he will never be the same. Number 3, DeAndre Ayton, another guy who blamed his old team for his issues. In fact, Ayton had the guts to say this at his Blazers introduction.
Dominance. I bring dominance. My name is Dominating. I play with a lot of passion.
Wow. But a month later, the Jazz got a fast break with a wide open dunk. I mean, whose man was that? Oh, it's Passion Dominating, just casually jogging back. My bad. Or another fast break, forgetting to guard the paint and an easy 2 for John Jonathan Kuminga. What happened to the passion player? It was the problem in Phoenix. He had pressure from being picked number 1 over Luka Doncic. Not his fault, but in the 2021 playoffs, dude was the Suns' most consistent player, 2 wins from a title. He had shown everything, but the Suns refused to pay him the max, so his attitude went south. He got in multiple shouting matches with coach Monty Williams. You knew he was gone from the Suns after this low-effort layup miss in last year's playoffs. But this year, Ayton got revenge with a 16-point, 15-board win over his old team. Afterward, Devin Booker had a funny way of congratulating his old teammate.
He played extra hard tonight. I seen that, and my challenge for him is to play like that every night.
Ouch. Ayton eventually did get that max contract because the Pacers tried to steal him from Phoenix, but this year he's posting career lows in points, field goal percentage, and free throws. All this despite getting paid like Jason Tatum and De'Aaron Fox. The Blazers couldn't pay someone to take him. Number 2, Ben Simmons. People mocked Ben when he claimed to have a back injury holding out from the Sixers, but he's basically out of the league now because the back issues were real. He has played just 48 of a possible 202 games, so he sits on the bench 75% of the time. And when he does play, dude looks nothing like his 3-time All-Star resume. Since back then, his scoring has dropped from 16 points to 7. So afraid of the free throw line, he gets there less than 1 time per game. What happened? Is it the injury? Is it the mental block? Well, his old coach Doc Rivers just came out and said it.
It must be tough to coach somebody that you don't know if they love basketball.
Yeah, I would say you're right on that. And I've always said this, the playoff always exposes guys who really love it, because the pressure of the playoffs and the intensity of the games, if you don't absolutely love it, it will eat you up. It does. You can see it every year with certain guys. Like, he is a freak of nature, athletically, vision-wise, but the rest of the part wasn't there.
Oh my goodness. So maybe Ben decided the pressure of being a superstar just wasn't worth it, because all that spotlight ever was for him was negative. So either his career is over now, or he will come back on a role player type salary, because that's all he can handle. Right now he's making over $40 million per year, on par with Devin Booker, millions more than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but he's not as bad as Jordan Poole. It's official. One stat proves he is the worst in the NBA. People love to troll on Poole so much right now. They use this photo as often as possible. I mean, is that really necessary? But it's actually a sad story, because not long ago, he was hitting half-court threes from the Dubs in the finals. Smile on his face. Now, he is the worst player in the league. It started with Draymond punching Poole before last season. The Warriors paid him, but he was still upset. I mean, videos showed him giving Dre the cold shoulder, Steph yelling at Poole for his attitude. But now, his low IQ moments are legendary. How about him walking the dog down 10 against the Bucks? Jordan gets upset because he thinks the clock should have stopped. That's just the shot clock, dummy. But for some reason, my personal favorite is him passing up this wide open shot just to fumble the ball against the Pistons. So far, Poole has the worst plus-minus of all 522 players in the NBA this year. That and the $100 million he has left on his contract make him the worst player in the league. So the Warriors have a lot of work to do, giving 2 of the worst players big money. Reports say they are definitely gonna make a trade, so I broke down their crazy plan to save Steph Curry.